Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jefferies, the present-day wise woman, a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This podcast is for those of you who are wanting to really rock your life and health and live from a place of prevention. Let's get into today's episode. Stress can hurt. But what does pain really cost us? When we're in pain, we get stressed. And when we are stressed, that feeds the pain. When we're stressed, our brain sends these messages to our nerves and they activate all our muscles and we tighten up, we go into defense mode. We end up on this loop and it keeps feeding and keeping us trapped in this loop. And so this thing is actually called, it's a real thing. And it's a real thing that's called the brain-body loop. You know, and in my clinic over the years, I've seen people from everything from, and visual kind of conditions, like skin conditions, like psoriasis and eczemas and things like that, where even just the visual of them seeing the skin inflamed causes the stress. It's the biggest instant. You'll see a reaction when they stress out and their skin flares up really quick. That was where I first noticed it in clinic so many years ago. But it doesn't matter what the pain is, whether it's something that's visual that's causing a pain, whether it's an emotion that's causing us a pain, whether it's a bad back or a headache or a gut ache or whatever it is, or arthritis. But when we're in pain, we get in this loop. There's a constant kind of connection between the body and the brain, okay? It involves both the suppression of acute, that really sharp right now pain, and the amplification of persistent pain, that chronic thing that it's just there all the time. And it's kind of like a two-way system that runs between the tissues in our body and our nervous system. So when we're stressed, okay, we cause our muscles, like I said, to tense and spasm, and that increases the pain. But then we're feeling stressed, that pain, it also increases the hormone cortisol. Remember, cortisol is a stress hormone. When it's in balance, it's called the stress hormone. When it's out of balance, it's called the death hormone. And it rises. And when it rises, it causes inflammation and pain. And it's a loop that we find people in, and we need to break it. So how do we break that pain loop? So as a naturopath, I have to start with emotions. I have to, because that's what's feeding the stress. We've got to start breaking it there. Yes, you can do things like, say I had a bad back, for instance, and I'm at a standing desk at the moment. You'd make sure that, everything was kind of ergonomically sound. You'd do those practical kind of things. You'd have massage or acupuncture. You'd do your treatments, all that kind of stuff. But for me, we've got to go that step behind. That's what naturopaths love to do. We want to go the step behind and see what, identify the emotion, get our head around the emotion that's feeding it. And then we can break the loop. The triangle of health says that to feel, for anything to be out of balance, there has to be three things happening. One, our attitudes and beliefs. That's all our learned things that we've learned from family and environment and that growing up. That's always part of the picture in a negative. Then we've got that physical thing, whatever it is, whether it's something like arthritis or a sore back or a skin condition, whatever it is. But then we've also got our emotions and our emotional response controls. As soon as we get all 3 points to fit together in a negative state, then we get, we're out of balance. So the emotion is one that we can control the easiest, okay? It doesn't seem like it, but we really can. So whatever it is, obviously we want to be open to it first to actually get, finding out what's going on. And I love things like kinesiology, Psych K, those kind of treatments for working on the emotions. But even for yourself, even if we can just get your body to go, okay, get out of alarm mode, that helps us deal with the emotion. Okay, so whatever it is you need to do to get your head around what's happening, this is the place to start before we do all that. Yes, get to all your workstations sorted out and go and have an acupuncture or massage or whatever it is you want to do, physically treat it. But let's start here. So the first thing is we want to take breaths, okay? Nice, deep, slow breaths, because the worry and stress causes the amygdala in our brain to activate. It's like it's going, it's like an alarm that's going on in your brain saying, fuck, deal with this stuff. It goes and blocks our prefrontal cortex and stops it from making clear decisions. You know what it's like when you're in pain, you're like, fuck, I just can't think straight. So luckily the amygdala is soothed with oxygen. Okay, so deep breathing, slow, deep breaths will get us out of that alarm mode. So that's the start. Okay, just take some slow, deep breaths. Now, things like meditation and aromatherapy are really vital at this same stage. So essential oils, I love aromatherapy. I'm an aromatherapist, so I love aromatherapy. But essential oils like vetiver are really grounding to a worrying mind because, and look, you can use essential oils like marjoram, which is great for worry. Lavender is great for worry. Lavender helps take the edge off cortisol. But I love vetiver. Vetiver is an essential oil that's taken from big tall grass. It's taken from the roots of the plant. It's a very earthy, dirt kind of smelling oil, but even a drop in a blend makes a difference because what it does is it helps to ground us so we can think of one thing at once. And when you're in pain, your brain's going, fuck, get me out of here. If we can just get you to breathe, calm, settle, I promise it makes a difference. Now, my Sanity Saver essential oil is my constitutional blend. Vetiver is the main ingredient. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes because it's a seriously cool essential oil that I use for helping keep my actual ADHD brain straight. But it's awesome to help keep you grounded so you can think of and deal with one thing at once. So when it comes to meditation, remember, meditation doesn't mean you have to sit on the top of a mountaintop chanting Om in the full lotus position. Meditating means to do one thing at once. And even 5 minutes a day will have you head in the right direction. If you haven't meditated before, there are so many cool apps that are available nowadays. So you can go and there's one that's called Breathe and one called Headspace and one called Calm, Buddhify. There are so many. Go and do your research and see which ones you actually like. Meditating, I do a lot of chanting every single day. I chant for a minimum of half an hour every day. And so for me, chanting is a way that it's my form of a moving meditation, and it works so well for me. And I've been doing it for over 30 years. My partner, Alice, she sits for meditation morning and night, not negotiable. And I love that. And in fact, Alice she's got a couple of recorded really good Shavasanas, which are like a guided visualization. I'll put a link in the show notes. Really worth going to check them out because they're a wonderful way also just to bring it down. And she has got the most soothing bloody voice on the planet. It's just like, whoa. Everyone who hears it just goes, wow, that's just the coolest voice for that stuff. So I'll put those in the show notes as well. Go and check them out. So we want to do something, like I say, we want to breathe. We want to, meditate. We want to use things like aromatherapy. We want to be able just to bring us down and just be still for a moment. And then we've got more chance of getting our head around whatever the pain is. I really recommend if you've got something especially chronic that's been going on, go and see a practitioner of something like I'm the biggest fan of kinesiology and things like Psych K. So go and find whoever is a practitioner in your local area. I promise it's worth it. Other physical things we want to think about, if you're going to look at like your workstation or your living station, things around your home that you can do that's more comfortable to be with whatever your restrictions are or your limitations are with your pain. We still need to move our body. So, that whole story of if we don't use it, we don't, we lose it. It's really true. So, but go, your body. So go within your body's tolerances. But even if it's moving for just a few minutes, an hour, and if you can't walk, swim, what is it that you can do to just get literally the energy moving through everything again? Stretching is amazing. I wish I could say I stretched as much as I should. I don't. But when I do, seriously, I love it. I have a sauna in my home because I love that deep, still kind of relaxation I get when I'm in the sauna. And whenever I'm in the sauna, I do, my version of stretches and things as well. So stretching is great. Great question to ask yourself, is the pain relieved by heat or cold? There's a difference. So as an aromatherapist, we always ask, okay, if something is relieved by heat, like if you use a hot water bottle or a heat pack or a hot bath, we're going to use warming essential oils or the spice oils, particularly things like black pepper. Black pepper is an amazing essential oil that it pulls out wind cold. Wind cold in Chinese medicine are aches. So it's excellent for pulling pain out of joints and muscles and things. It's awesome. But it's a treatment. You still got to look at the emotion behind it. So aromatherapy can be a huge benefit. If it's something that's relieved by cold, like ice packs and that, and the cooling essential oils, even essential oils like spearmint. It's interesting. Spearmint as an essential oil cools and stays cool, where peppermint cools and then warms. It's cool on your skin originally, but then it brings circulation to that area and it actually warms the area. So don't get in that trap. If you're relieved by cool, use spearmint. Relieved by heat, you can use peppermint. That's why a lot of people, if they get a headache, they'll use peppermint essential oil just to drop on their temples, and that works for pain relief. So there's lots going on in that pain loop, but we just want to break one of those steps. Like I said, it's like a triangle. From my experience and as a practitioner for so many years, and even in my own personal body, if we can work with and identify the emotion that's going on and just get our body to be able to deal with that part, even just to be and be quiet and be still for a moment, I promise that's an invaluable place to start. So healthy life hacks, we've just got two for this episode. One, start with the emotions. Ask yourself, what's feeding? What's sitting behind that pain? What are you stressing out about with that pain? And then take the deep, slow breaths. Bring something like meditation in and just have your body be able just to literally take a breather and go, okay, I can deal with this. I can deal with this. Okay. And then healthy life hack number 2 is to focus on that one thing. And one of the other kind of suggestions, are you going to maybe, use, is it relieved by heat or cold? Are you going to commit to move 3 minutes an hour to help keep the circulation going in the area? What is it? Focus on one of the other suggested steps and build from there. If you want to grab the show notes so you can go and get a link to my Sanity Saver Essential Oil Blend, which is rich in that vetiver, which helps you stay grounded and think of one thing at once, that link will be there, but also 2 really cool links to my partner Alice's, her recordings of some restorative practices, some Shavasanas. I really encourage you to go and click on them and have a look at them as well, because they are invaluable. So to get those show notes, head over to www.healthylifehacks.com.au. Then I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed my podcast, please let me know by leaving a review on Apple Podcast. Every month, I draw one lucky person who leaves a review on Apple Podcast to have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you're tuning in from, so that you always catch the next episode. And if you would like to receive a free copy of my Feed Your Body ebook, simply click the link in the comments below. Join my newsletter and we will get that free ebook sent to you. I welcome your emails, and you can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, remember, when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.